Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Tuesday morning, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. And this is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino. I'm always delighted to be here with Rebecca Wang, instructor with Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. So nice to have you here this morning. Good morning, Rebecca.
Always a pleasure to be with you all, from beaming in from snowy Saco, Maine. And yes, good to be with you all today.
Yeah, it's so nice to have you here and nice to see our groups joining. And we've been seeing some new folks, new names coming in, which is always so wonderful to see. And as always, we love having our regulars here. So it's a great mix of a community that we really just enjoy being with in the morning. So welcome to everyone. So today we'll start off with a question for the group. Rebecca will share that with us, and then she'll share a few thoughts with us, and then go ahead and lead us in around a 12-minute meditation practice. And that will be a mixture of both guided practice as well as some silent time. So we'll have that. She'll guide you through the whole practice. And after that, we'll have some time for questions. So if you go to the bottom of the Zoom screen and open up the chat, and once you open up the chat, you'll see the blue menu at the bottom that you can click on, hosts and panelists, and that you can change that to everyone, and folks will be able to see your comments as you type them. All right, so again, welcome to anyone who has joined. And Rebecca, let's start us off with a question. What do we have for the group?
So the question is around the topic of desire today. And so the question is, when does desire cause trouble for you in your life? When does desire cause trouble for you in your life? So it can be desire for any kinds of things. And we'll talk a little bit about that after we sit together. So in the spirit of that, as you think about that, just recognize that the thing that sometimes we put certain conditions on what desire is, but desire is basically any state of wanting, right? Deeply wanting something. So it's good to recognize that it's not just for a diamond ring or a fancy watch. It can be for any number of things.
Mm-hmm.
We call that a hindrance, mainly because sometimes the desire gets so intense that it really creates trouble for us in our lives in many ways. So in the spirit of meditation, when we do this meditation together, I want you to think about how the desire to have a still and quiet mind sometimes can get in the way of a meditation practice, because it's another form of grasping, of realizing that, oh, my mind's so crazy. Why I shouldn't be. I want to be peaceful right now. And so this is the interesting thing about desire. It can arise even in regards to our own meditation practice, evaluating what it is we think we want when we're sitting. So we'll hold space for recognizing desire even in the presence of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and type in anything that comes to your mind this morning. I know what I've always felt is the desire for things to be different.
Yeah.
And that can hold us back. I definitely noticed that can hold us back.
And I think that there's a good one. It obscures your view of all that you have now, which is correct. In other words, we said when we desire, we have a sense of lack. But the fact is that makes us blind to the things that we actually do have in our life. And that is a big challenge for sure. Compare yourself to others, status, money, career, of course. And so that comparative feeling that we have less than other people can really get us in trouble. Yeah, I want to take vacations like my friends are taking. Same thing, right? Well, you get to go to a tropical island and I don't. This is very, very hard. Of course, food. Yes, always food. Oh, after the holidays, you begin to realize, oh man, lost in desire during the holidays. Yeah. And yes, takes away the balance in my life and leads to addictive tendencies. So the one thing, and I want you to be sort of recognizing that one of the things that desire does, and we'll talk about this more after the meditation, desire can be a way of pulling us away from what it is actually we need to attend to in the moment. It can be anything from fantasies to food, that I don't want to feel what I'm feeling right now, or I don't want to do what it is I really feel I need to do right now. And so I get lost and I succumb to desire because it's a way of turning away from and seeking some form of kind of relief from what it is we're dealing with in our lives. So, this is the reality of desire. It doesn't mean that we're going to be desireless. It's good to have healthy desires and to recognize that there are ways to grow towards healthy desire, things that I know are helpful for me, things that I know that are really going to support me and the people around me. And I desire those things. And so the challenge is, are the desires healthy or are they not? Do they cause me more trouble? So in the spirit of that, let's sit. Find that way to be upright and supported in your chair this morning. Recognizing that posture is really very important in meditation. So upright and aligned. You can think of a softly rising spine. Aligning the ears over the shoulders so that your head is not falling forward or falling back. And soften the jaw. Dropping into the body now. Notice the connection with the chair beneath you. An awareness of your feet connected to the surface beneath you. And noticing your hands as they rest. Inviting awareness now into the interior realm of the body, attending to sensations there. Whatever's arising, I'm noticing with gentle curiosity. Muscle sensations, temperature differences, even a sense of circulation in my body. Gentle attending. Notice where you feel good, an absence of discomfort. And then find the breath. Engaging with awareness in the rise and fall of breathing. Relax the mind and the sensation of breath. Thoughts flow like a river. We sit on the bank of the river of thought, grounded in our posture and breath. When a thought arises, we watch it flow by, centering ourselves back into breath. In this moment, we can practice noticing a state of the absence of desire, contentment for whatever is arising in this moment. This moment as it is, as I watch the thought flow by and gather myself back into the breath, an absence of desire. Each breath an opportunity to return home. For the last part, just notice your body once again sitting in the chair. So I'm breathing, but I'm aware of the totality of my body, just resting there. So as we end the practice, draw that deeper breath back into the body, perhaps a nice stretch as we end the meditation.
Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Welcome. So this is that aspect of meditation practice as a way of attending to the absence of a hindrance. So meditation has, in a sense, an opportunity to say, all right, no matter how busy my mind is or uncomfortable my body is, I'm going to see how much I can drop into sort of a state of not needing anything, sort of allowing myself to be with whatever's happening in this moment and really rehearsing the felt sense of contentment. And the other aspect of this, because contentment is the opposite of desire, is noticing even during your day when you sense that you're not needing anything particularly, and that you're sort of have a sense of flow or a sense of stillness or whatever it is throughout in moments during the day where you can say, oh, yeah, absence of desire. This is an absence of wanting. This is even, I could consider it as a moment of contentment. I always practice that when I'm looking at the birds first thing in the morning at my feeders, just really recognizing, this is a beautiful moment of not needing anything in this moment. And I'm gonna tell a short story around desire and how it siphons our attention away from the present moment. Desire, generally speaking, oftentimes is a mental activity about wanting. It's, of course, if we're overeating or overspending, it's an action as well. But so this is an example. So a couple of weeks ago, I was hiking, and not a steep mountain, but it's an upward trail. And so I was doing a solo hike, and I decided to really do more of a walking meditation up the trail. So that's pretty engaging because your breath gets going and you're feeling your feet on the trail. And it was a beautiful, it's North Conway, New Hampshire, beautiful Hurricane Mountain for those of you who have been there before. And it was just really engaging on the way up. And then on the way down, I started drifting into desirous thoughts about how I wanted to redo my kitchen. And so I'm thinking about the cabinets and what kind of countertops would I like, on and on and on. And then about 15 minutes later, I stop and I realize that I'm not sure if I'm on the trail that I went up on, because I was so lost in desirous thoughts that I was completely unaware of the trail I was walking down for a full 15 minutes. And I stopped and I basically started laughing because it was so ironic that I had been doing this reading on desire and the whole thing. And there I was, perfect moment of not even aware of my surroundings. I'm still walking, but completely unaware. And so that's a good example of how when we're desirous, sometimes lost, in that case, it was fantasizing, so the fantasy of the perfect kitchen, that it is, in a sense, attending to something other than the present moment. And so we can get curious about these states during our day and realizing, am I actually attending to what I'm doing in this moment? Or am I actually lost in fantasy of something that I desire or feel I need or want? And these are the skills that we over time in mindfulness practice get more and more able to attend to, because it's not about feeling bad about noticing the desire. It's about simply noticing the desire. And there it is again. Oh, there it is again. Oh, hello, desire. I see you. And recognizing it, in a sense, brings liberation from it over time, because then we can be lost in it a little less over time, shorter periods of time. Let's put it that way. Maybe the next time I go hiking, I'll be thinking about a kitchen for 5 minutes versus 15, so I don't get lost. And by the way, I was on the same trail. I wasn't lost, but I could have just as easily wandered off, right? So that's the happy ending to that story, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting how it can how we can get so distracted. But I really like what your words about contentment, and how that can really bring us a sense of peace, where we're not grasping, we're not feeling like we need more, but we really have a sense that we're here, everything's okay. And even in meditation, thinking about when you're saying focus on your hands, the hands tend to be an area of the body that are somewhat neutral and might not have any pain or discomfort. So, just a really good way to put ourselves in that mindset.
And so it's that recognition of the antidote, so that aspect of rehearsing. The human brain is very, very familiar with rehearsing states of discontent, because it's a way of trying to stay safe, really, that I need to be attentive to what's not right. And it's not a choice on our part. Oftentimes it's a survival mechanism of the human brain to be looking and scanning for what isn't right. And so in mindfulness practice, we just get more skilled at recognizing when there's an absence of feeling insecure or in danger or hypervigilant or anxious or whatever. It's like I'm actually feeling the absence of that right now. And so whatever the absence of that is, whether it be calm or contentment or a sense of peacefulness, or these are the states that they arise in us all the time. It's just that we have a hard time attending to them in the moment. I mean, when you take your morning shower, really notice that first hit of that warm water, right? And how that feels. It's a really helpful thing to practice attending to these states that are so every day in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And somebody said here, I compensate my desires that can't be fulfilled by buying other things. Yeah. And the interesting thing about desire is that it's unsatisfiable. It might be satisfied for a little bit. So then we have to start recognizing, okay, how much do I expose myself culturally, digitally to aspects of desire? So I'm very diligent now about unsubscribing of anything. You buy something online and then they keep emailing you more stuff. And I've just really made the decision that, look, if I need another one of those, I'll remember where you are. I'll go find you and unsubscribe. I don't want that information coming into my inbox all the time because it fuels desire for more. And these are the actions over time you begin to recognize, oh, you know what? I'm not going to buy ice cream every week when I go to the grocery store. If it's not in my freezer, then it's less likely that I will actually eat it. So
Yeah.
these are the actions that we over time become skillful about removing ourselves or what is around us that fuel constant hunger and desire for things.
Mm.
Yeah.
And those desires, when we fulfill them by buying things, many times it's such a temporary, such a temporary feeling of positivity that we realize it really isn't as fulfilling.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's desire is like nutritionless junk food.
Yeah.
It has doesn't have any nutritional value if it is in a sense a harmful desire. And Colleen, how soon will this session be available to see again?
Yeah. So, Colleen, usually it takes within, I would say, 3 or 4 days for it to go up on the YouTube channel. So you should see it within that time frame. Yeah.
I like that. I need to send it to a friend. You're a good friend, Colleen. That's very nice.
Yeah. That's a wonderful thing to offer to them. So thank you so much, Rebecca, for being here.
My absolute pleasure being with you all today.
Yeah. And we're really happy to have the community together and such wonderful, comments that you've shared and just how we kind of navigate our way through this world together. It's really very helpful. So.
And I want to just say that I so appreciate all of you for committing to seeing and meditating and practicing mindfulness. It's such a path of helping us become more calm, attentive, and even happy people. So bravo for you all for joining us today.
Absolutely. And you can join us tomorrow and Thursday. So keep that in mind. We'll be here at 8:30 both days. So, all right. Nice to see you, Rebecca.
To see you, Suzanne. Take care, everybody.
Okay. Nice to see you, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.